What's up, YouTube? This your boy Silver Wolf TV. Hey, I'm here today with two. Well, everybody already know OG Nitty, ex blood member, ex. You already know what else he used to do and stuff. We got a guest with him too, OG Gudda. Both of them ex blood members, rolling 20 NHB blood gang. Go ahead and introduce yourself, Gudda.
I got a G20, East Road.
Nitty, what's going on, my G?
Oh man, you know what I mean? I'm just once again, man, reminiscing, trying to answer a few of the questions that people ask me on a day-to-day basis when they ask me about my life in prison, before prison, things of that, right? And dudes asked me one time, well, recently, they say, what was one of my most traumatizing times in prison? And it was when I seen two of my friends put to death, by the state of Maryland. One by the name of Tyrone Gilliam. They used to call him Anson. He was a member of the Nation of Islam. Another one was a brother by the name of Flint Gregory Hunt. Right, he was a Sunni Muslim. And to watch this was like, it made you kind of sit outside yourself, right? Because you couldn't believe that somebody who you was just talking to last night, come tomorrow, you're never going to be able to talk to him again in life.
I mean, he was on death row.
He was on death row. And it was like, wow, and being kind of young back then, I was so fascinated about how they didn't go crazy. Because I know that if I'm on death row, you mean, man, I ain't got nothing to lose. Man, I mean, I'm going for what I know any chance I get. Because I got nothing to lose. You done turn me into a wolf. You done really turn me into a silver wolf, right? So it's like, I look at that, but what was so amazing, man, well, it wasn't amazing, it was saddening and disheartening, because when they come up, well, what they do is the Baltimore City Police, they stops like all the cars on the little bridge over there by the city jail, well, by Central Booking and all that stuff down. Well, they get to the bridge, they stop all the traffic underneath of there, over top of there, they stop all that, and all of them had their lights flashing. Right. So next, the state troopers gonna come down, and they gonna come with about, I guess about anywhere between about 4 to 6 cars, but they gonna be 4 deep in each one of them. And they get out with these shotguns, and they march to what used to be known as a Supermax, right? The feds took over it now.
That was on Madison.
Yeah. So, yeah, man, and to see those two guys, two friends of mine, put to death, it was really kind of traumatizing, because to know that, okay, this person's day is coming, right? See, like, death normally sneaks up on us. People normally don't get to know when they're going to die. But to know that, okay, next month they're gonna kill me, then you counting down next week, right? Then 2 days from now. And that gotta be a traumatizing spirit, and I really felt guilty for a minute, because I said, man, I didn't have a right to be traumatized by that, because it wasn't me. But I had to get past that and say, as somebody who was a friend to those guys, right, it was traumatizing, because I had to see somebody put to death. And people, and you know, you're gonna have the critics out there in the comments. And you know me, I always say, y'all, you know,
They
you
don't
know,
care,
I love
they
it.
ain't never seen no dead body though.
Right.
They don't know
So,
what it feel like.
like, cause they, you know, because they'll say, well, you know, OG Nitty, man, you done killed all these people. It ain't like you ain't never, you know, seen this and that, but it's a difference, man.
Yeah.
It really is. It's a difference. So to see these guys put to death like that, but what really made me gain strength in prison was being able to see that, because they didn't go out kicking and screaming,
Right.
which I know many members of law enforcement and certain politicians, whatever, that's what they would have preferred, right? That they went out begging
They
and
wanted to see
crying,
them tortured.
right, and tortured, and that's why I say, you know, people have to stop fooling themselves by saying that, you know, when certain crimes are committed, they say, hey, I want justice.
Mm.
But it's not justice what you want revenge, right?
Right.
They just don't have the, you know, I guess what the Jewish used to say, the chutzpah,
Yeah.
to do it themselves, right?
You know what else with people? Gang banging is designer now. It's
Yeah.
like Gucci, Fendi, Prada, all that. Then it's gang banging. It's like a different level of designer. So niggas put bandanas and rags hanging out their pockets, and they ain't never experienced losing nobody from that shit.
Right.
Let me ask y'all this, because I mean, both of y'all belong to the same gang. What's the difference? Do you think it's a difference, first of all, gang banging inside the G-Wall and gang banging on the street? You think it's a difference?
It is. It's more strict in jail.
Way more.
It's more strict. It's too much lenience outside. So that's why
Right.
niggas feel like they can up and jump and I'm a jump ship and run this place.
Right.
Once you this, you supposed to be this. Your value supposed to de-escalate when you jump ship.
Right.
But that's not so. Like, you know, a lot of niggas, they think strength in numbers, so they don't
But
give a
see,
fuck. They get a bunch of
was-
suckers with them. It's like a million of
But
us.
see, it was so strict up there. A lot of now we had it so strict up there in Cumberland, where if a dude decided to jump ship, right, to go to something else,
He gonna get dealt with.
he gonna get dealt with as well as those who picked him up.
Exactly.
And that's how he was carrying it, because it was a show of disrespect. You'd rather, like you say, if we let him go, that means he was a bad apple.
Right.
Then you mean to tell me that you would rather further poison what we have because you're chasing numbers?
Mhm.
No, we're not going for that.
I told
Right.
bro, I say shit different. I say when
Yeah.
Els ran the city,
Yeah,
it wasn't no sanctions. If you don't go on the mission, you die.
right.
It wasn't no sanctions. All of this shit different. So when you grew up in that era and you get to this one, it's like
Right.
how it's
Right.
like putting Michael Jordan with LeBron in them.
Right.
Like,
I was in the cell
It's different.
with one of the big homies, EKDL, right, known as GD. And I lied to you not, man. I really liked him because he had a lot of discipline, right? He had a lot of discipline, and something that I love that he did to cut out a lot of the he say, she say shit, niggas whispering and backbiting and shit like this.
You know what they do.
Dudes would run up to him because, hey, this the big homie, right? And they would run up to him and say, hey, man, look, man, you know, such and such, man, they say he ain't right. Man, he this, he ain't that, he blah, blah, blah. And he said, yeah, he would act like he going with him. He said, yeah, oh, yeah. He said, okay, I'll tell you what. So when you gonna get him?
They be them niggas trying to influence the nerve.
Right.
They like, if I go to the higher power, get in his ear.
Right,
And
right.
him thinking sometimes, like they be the ones
he
when
would
they.
tell him, he would get him, he would say,
Yeah.
okay, he say, okay, so when you gonna get him?
Mhm.
What you get ready to come and let me know that you get ready to get him?
Yeah.
He said, because if you talking about it, then that must mean that you get ready to go on that mission.
They them divide and conquer niggas.
Right.
They say, well, I'm gonna break them down from the inside out.
Right.
And then they gotta fend for themselves. You know, a lot of niggas, like I said, strength in numbers. So a lot of niggas that's doing this ain't really like that.
No, they
So
not.
they depend on the numbers. If the numbers get low, then they lose all power.
So why y'all think the difference is? Or why you think the difference in the inside of all is different? Like that?
Because niggas outside get them positions that they ain't ready for. That's like a management position. If you ain't ready to be a manager, you ain't got the balls to fire a nigga, and you shouldn't apply for the position.
Here what I think. See, dudes can play with it out here.
They soft outside.
Right. Like they can play with it out here
You
because
can't escape the consequences in jail.
right, you can't escape it. Ain't no way to hide it in there.
Like the
It's
consequences coming. You can't duck them in there.
Right.
The city, you can run around.
Right, you can hide, you can go and go to this person's house and you ain't gotta come out for weeks, this and that.
Right.
That can't happen in there. Like, and then
No. Because when they pop themselves, a nigga come in yourself.
nigga coming in there. You ain't gotta come out, they coming in.
Yeah, you ain't got to
Right,
come in.
they ain't doing that out here.
Yeah, they can't do. They can, but they not. You right.
Right.
They not doing it. They
We
choose
can't.
not to do it.
Right.
Because they ain't built like the niggas behind the wall.
So my next question is then, so is the difference when you bum home inside and compared to the difference when you bum home outside?
It is, because you got to fight for real.
Yeah.
Outside, niggas your friends, they ain't going to fight you.
Yeah.
Inside, them niggas going to try to fight you like you a stranger. They going to try to
Right.
beat you like you are just to
Right.
get in. And because they want to know that you can handle yourself. They like, we don't want a nigga. Like, that's why so many soft niggas that's banging outside. Because in there, you gotta prove yourself. You gotta fight for your spot.
That's why I trip all these dudes. That's why I say it was time for me to retire. Because of this. Dudes were coming, they was banging on the streets. But you get in there and you see how shit is, you say, oh, I ain't banging, man. I ain't with that shit no more.
That's just like a lot of niggas, oh, he a killer. The guns ain't in jail, so they
Right.
change.
Right.
Like I told a nigga, you gotta have a different stomach to stab a nigga. It's different.
Ain't no question.
Niggas ain't got the stomach for it. So I say, well, you can shoot in the crowd and hit little innocent kids, but you can't push up on a nigga with a blade.
And they want to see. That's what I said. It'd be funny because you said it best. This shit designer now.
Yeah, it's designer. That shit for fashion.
It's, you know.
Niggas say, I got a burgundy jacket, I got some white jeans, some burgundy boots, I'm gonna get a burgundy bandana.
Right. Right.
And like Joel Santana back in the day.
Right. And that's what they do now. But that's why I said I knew then I knew it was time for me to retire because it's like if you sit down there and denounce who you was when you went in there, then you was done. You ain't no coming back. You got dudes trying to come back talking about, oh yeah, yo, I'm still this, I'm still that. Man, you nothing. You know what I mean? You a ghost for real. Like, what the fuck you still here for?
I seen niggas who say they was banging, they cried when they told them they was going to K section in the city jail. I seen niggas crying in the JI building. I seen niggas, you ain't even go through DOC, you ain't get on no type of bus or nothing. You ain't never even been shipped out and you crying in the city.
When you say crying, you say crying to go to K building, jumping K, why?
No, they told him like, you know, back in the day,
I mean,
K
jumping
section
J,
in the
K
city
section
jail
was
was known as Killer K.
Right.
So when a nigga heard he was going to K section, yo literally bust out in tears.
Right.
I seen him do it. I'm like, that's crazy, bro.
See, city jail at one
Cause
time.
I know at one point in my life, my fault, bro. But I know I wasn't always I wasn't born as no tough ass nigga. My father did this shit to me because the military fucked him up.
Right.
My father changed me.
Right.
I was like at first, like I was like quiet.
You know, they used to have a saying over city jail. Like they say, man, if you can make it over city jail, you can make it anywhere.
That's a fact.
It
That's
was-
why I finished the sentence
Yeah,
with you, bro.
they used to go so hard over there. Boy,
City
city
jail
jail
was
was
an
like a
animal house.
penitentiary.
How they call it animal house down the
Right.
troll? No, city jail was an animal house.
Man, I'm telling you,
You might see your whole neighborhood in there and they still act like they don't know you. You got to prove yourself.
right? That shit
Like,
like.
no, you ain't gonna skate off my back. You got to fight somebody or something.
I remember when I first got into the penitentiary, they used to do something what they call test your bloodline, right? But
Now
they
when
didn't
talk
have
standing in the
anything.
toilet is.
No. It didn't have anything to do with Damu.
Right.
Like you could have a gangster uncle,
Mm-hmm.
a gangster father, big brother,
They
something
ain't give a
there.
fuck about
He
none of
going
that.
hard. But, and you come in there, they need to know, is that just him or is that the bloodline?
Right.
Because when the bloodline started to get strong, once the bloodline start getting respected in there, right? They say, okay, yeah, man, everybody, their family, man, solid.
So they gonna test everybody.
Right, they gonna test everybody. And what I used to love, what they used to do is this. When you came in there, they ain't send nobody to do no wild shit to them back, but they would try you.
Right.
Boy, look, yo, what size of tennis shoes is? Well, yo, what you got in that commissary bag for me?
You know what the response is when they
Right.
ask you what size? I say your size.
Right, I used to always say something, man, go in there and try a few up more.
What size you wear? Your size.
Right, because the funniest thing, you know, I had something happen to me like that. Oh my God, this shit was so fucking funny. This guy, right, and then he was taller than me, so he made my short man complex kick in, right?
So you like, right,
So-
fuck his big ass.
Right, I had to stab him. I had to, right? I had to stab him. So he say, hey man, man, my man need them shoes, need you them shoes for me? I said, what? Right? Cause it fucked me up when he said it. Like, I'm like, yo, this thing gotta be high or something, right?
Right.
So I'm waiting for somebody to step in and say, no, yo, he high, man, big old. So he said, man, my man need them shoes for me. Man, we came out that kitchen. Man, I stabbed his motherfucking ass so fucking bad. I'm like, yo, what's wrong with you? Because he was loud with it too, like believe
Yeah,
on.
make a scene.
They try to make a scene
Like,
like
I'm gonna make everybody turn around and see who the
Right.
fuck I'm talking to.
right. Then he did it on the tip like he would get ready to tell like, yo, take them off or something. So he really made my short man complex kick in. So I was oh fuck no. Right, I gotta stab you. Right, so but that was, you know, prison different now. It's like,
Yeah.
you know.
You know, once they moved all the lifers out the system, when nicotine and lifers left the system, it wasn't prison no more.
Right,
It was daycare.
right. No,
Because I remember when I went to the pen for my first time on Eagle
Yeah.
Street, I was
Yeah.
17. I was a juvenile in the pen. I
Yeah.
turned 18. in there.
Let me ask both of y'all this question right here though. You mean your first time in there and the first time somebody tried you, can you give an example of that?
You like the first time
I
somebody
remember my
tried
first
me.
time.
First time somebody tried me was Eagle Street in the penitentiary when the lifers were still there.
Yeah,
'Cause my cell buddy was a bidder, so he told me how to bid. Basically, he taught me. So when you can get cigarettes off commissary, I bought a carton of Newports off commissary. Nigga followed me from the store because you know in the pen the commissary store was in the yard.
Right.
So the nigga followed me all the way to my shit from the commissary. So I put my shit on the bed, I turned around, this nigga in the doorway, like the fuck? So yo came in, and then it was like yo was like simultaneously whipping the knife, and then you know them bars right there on the end of the tip. So when I ran at him, it was like I went to scoop slam him, but I was running him, and the momentum was built up so much, I just ran him straight into the pole.
Right.
I ran him to the pole, yo dropped. And then I had my way with him for real. Because I know what my cell buddy told me, like, you can't afford to let a nigga get you once in jail. Because if you let him get you once, you open the door for everybody else to play with you. Man, every jail I went to, it was the same shit. Even out ECI, and most of them PG County, DC don't like us anyway.
Yeah.
So first day out there, I got into it with a nigga. When I moved to South Carolina.
Well, I got some good dudes
Yeah.
that I met. They was men, right? They was men.
I met
And
some
that-
good dudes from fighting them.
Right.
fact.
Exactly. I met some good men from out PG, some good men from out DC. But to answer your question, Big E, my first time a dude tried me, I remember like it was yesterday. Like back then, if you had a little name, you know, you was like, it was almost like, damn, boy, they got such and such too. They got such and such too. So I come through there, they like, man, goddamn, man, they got that little kid Frank Nitty. Man, so it was, you know, people shouting out the tears. So I go to myself. I never forget. I went to, I was on A block in I believe it A338, right? So I'm going to cell. Mind you, I'm going here with a complete stranger, right? Somewhere that's smaller than this living room, right? Like this living room probably would make about 2 cells, right? So anyway, I go in here. And the dude got nothing else better to say because everybody was saying, boy, Shorty bang that gun uptown, boy. He wasn't playing with that 45, boy, this, that. So This nigga had nothing else better to say. Yeah, he ain't got that 45 in the head. And see what he do in the head. So we was coming out for the yard. It was either the yard or one of the mills or something. So I asked my son, I said, you know who that is? He said, man, it sound like, man, a little dude always run his mouth, dude by the name of Feli. So I said, all right. I said, man, do me a favor.
I know somebody named Feli.
Yeah, I said, man, point him out for me, right, when we come out there. So I walked up to him. I said, you Feli? He said, yeah, well, what's up? I banged him in his mouth. I said, I'm Frank Nitty. Bang.
Is he from over east?
I think so. Little black ass thing in his mouth.
He's always wearing his Feli shit all the
right.
time.
And I'm like, no, I'm me, wherever the fuck I'm at. Right, but that's how it was back then. That's what I say. It was so wild, like to see how numb it made you to emotions, because like as much as that hurt to see my two friends put to death, right? As much as that hurt, I had to be numb because I had so many other people depending on me as well, saying, look, man, what about the rest of us? Right? And although these two dudes, they weren't bloods, but they was personal friends of mine. Right? And so it was like, seeing that, but like so one of my friends asked me, like, what was one of the most traumatizing things, I would have to say that, because to watch them come and march beside that van, because the COs get inside the van with them, and they take you to what they call the death house, right? Where they take you, like, if anybody ever came down Eagle Street, is that Eagle, what is that, Madison? Yeah, Madison Street, yeah, down Madison Street. If you see the people in Baltimore, you see over top of the wall, that cobblestone wall, you see this white, look like building. You can just barely see it over top of that.
You know, that's called Castle Grayskull.
Yeah, that's the actual death house.
Yeah.
Right, that's where they put people to death at, where they used to anyway. And to watch that whole process, man, it was just so traumatizing. And that a lot of times now I'm amazed that I have the little sanity, I guess that I do have, because I seen a really good dude, man, that I really had a great deal, I still have a great deal of respect for this guy, a dude, a Muslim brother by the name of Mosi, right? Man, good dude, man, solid dude, man, and he was one of the few dudes that I can say that he lived his life in prison as a Muslim, but also he never lost touch that he was a man, right? And see, some of them, to me, and it's no disrespect to the Sunni community or anything like that, but it seemed like to me, you know, some of them, they get in there and they kind of hide behind that, right? Gangs do the same thing, right? But it seems like they kind of hide behind that, and then, you know, the next thing you know, this guy is messed up, and he got, you know, good men, you know, good Muslim brothers, and you know, things of that nature. They done jumped out there for him, right? But and the whole time he was messed up. So I look at stuff like that, man. But I listened to his story the other day. It wasn't a live. He just did a regular joint. He was just speaking, man. But it was recorded. And man, I really felt so much of what he was saying, because I believe a lot of us that have been in there a while like that, we do need therapy. Me personally, I now realize it, right? Because, and as you gotta, like, dudes do shit out here, right, that will probably get their fucking head chopped off in prison. And I be like, and I be trying to, like, get my mind, you know, back into society. But like,
it go back to the weaponry though, cause niggas in jail, like niggas outside, they don't have to deal with hand-to-hand combat.
right,
Half of them can't fight. They ain't got the heart to put a knife in a nigga.
right,
So they say, I can shoot you from a distance. I don't have to see you die.
right, right.
You know, with a knife, you gonna see a nigga die. Like,
Yeah, then you might be locked in the cell.
you might hear it when he take that last
Right,
shit on himself. You gonna hear that.
right.
You ain't gonna hear that if you shoot a nigga. So niggas,
Right.
niggas is like, they like, what they say, ain't no such thing as halfway crooks.
Right.
They like halfway killers.
Right.
So when you speaking on that can't fight you speaking on more the new generation, because the new
Yeah, I'm
generation.
talking about more than new generation, because this niggas from my era, and I ain't that far from y'all.
Right.
So it's niggas from my generation. Like, I got a nigga right now that I ain't gonna say he hate me, strongly dislike me. He ain't no homie or nothing. He on the other side. I ain't gonna say what he is, but yeah, yo will talk. I come around and I hear shit he say about or when he see me, but he make it a point not to see me.
Yeah, not saying like older people don't, but the percentage of older people doing like some of the shit the younger people do. The younger people don't.
Only difference is the younger niggas is powered by drugs and shit.
Yeah, no, the ratio ain't the same because the younger people don't want to fight. These people we talking about, the older people, like that's all we did back in the day. Like we
But
fought.
no, it's some older
West Coast.
people. It's some older people that don't fight.
I said that you got a small percentage of it though compared to the newer generation. That you got a high percentage of people that fight compared
Yeah, you
to
know,
older
our
people.
generation, like the majority was fighters.
Right.
Because there's any neighborhood you go in, it's a fighter in there. Like all of them fight, but it's always a fighter in any neighborhood from our shit. Like now, no, it's a neighborhood where it's one they say, yo, a killer. It changed from yo, a fighter to yo, a killer.
Yeah.
So the killer is the one that get bitched in jail.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
He's the killer.
That's because people gotta understand. See, every real nigga ain't a killer. Every killer ain't a real nigga.
Yeah, because a
See,
real killer,
see,
though,
see,
he gonna kill
as long as
you
you
with
understand
anything.
that.
A killer will kill you with a spoon. Like,
they like
a killer will kill you with his bare hands. Like, a shooter is the difference between a shooter and a killer. A shooter gonna shoot. He ain't gotta be accurate. He just shot the gun. He felt like he did his job. I went in here and I shot the whole crowd up. I hit everybody but the person I was. But I'm a shooter. I shot.
that's what I said.
A fighter gonna fight. A motherfucker who's a killer gonna kill you in jail.
It's so different. That's how I'm telling dudes, man. That another thing, man, used to bother me, but I used to hear some of it, and this is not me, taking a shot at the younger dudes, but when dudes would come fresh in there and they don't have that kind of time, they might have did something in another jail.
Right.
They got them landed there, right? And half the time that's because the police lied on the ticket.
Right.
Right, so it got them all the way up there.
I say that.
So they would get in and be like, shit, man, if I had life, boy, I'd be found here doing this, doing that.
They had life, they be crying.
I said,
So that bitch peeing on themselves at night.
one time a motherfucker said that to me, I said, shorty, I said, if you had life, I said, provided the possibility that you wouldn't have had slit your little wrist or put a sheet around your neck by now, right? I said, beside that fact, right, I said that if you had life, only thing you be doing is worrying the living fuck out your people, trying to see what can they do to help your little ass get back home. I said, because from somebody who had multiple life sentences, and then they 200 fucking years, because I had 141 years, had double natural life was 141 years. I say, for somebody who had that, every fucking morning, when I get out of bed, that motherfucker feel like an 800-pound gorilla on my back. And I said, and that's all I want to do is get the fuck out. I said, so man, miss me with that shit, don't talk that shit around me. Right, because that's how it really make you when niggas talk that shit, what they would do if they had life.
But they ain't been in that position. So
And they ain't never been in that position. That's why I used to ask dudes this, they used to say, dudes used to tell me, say, hey man, Frank, they got another kid in this jail, and that jail, he called himself Frank Nitty. I used to say, man, I swear, I wish some of them little motherfuckers go ahead and tell the goddamn state's attorney, did they Frank Nitty, so I get the fuck out. You know,
I was gonna tell the state's attorney.
yeah, tell the state's attorney they the real Frank Nitty, so I get the fuck
Yeah,
out.
I told you what, man.
Right, told you what me.
He's still dumbass nigga.
Right, this gangsta ass motherfucker here.
Yeah, this nigga's gangsta-licious.
Yeah.
Fucking boondocks.
That's what I say, man. I trips off of them and a lot of the stuff they do, man. But it's once again, like I said, we're gonna have to continue this, man, on prison stories, man. Cause you know, 30 years, I got a bunch of them. I got a bunch of them, man, and it's every day, damn near, was a new fucking adventure, right?
Cut it off.
Yeah, you know, especially in the penitentiary, you know, it was never a dull moment. But until next time, man, y'all take care out there.
All right,
Peace.
bro.
Thanks for watching, y'all. Silver Wolf TV. Remember, hit the subscribe button, like the channel, share the video. God bless.